Next question. Happy Kilmore says, question here for this humble community. Am I the only one caring more about my win-loss ratio than my KD? Is this normal? I don't have a bad KD by any means. I just care more about winning the actual games. Tanner.
Kilmore, I would usually agree with you, but in this game, I care way more about my KD because you can't win. So the way it usually works with matchmaking, if Raz and I are queuing just the two of us, so we're playing 10, so there's 20 players. It's 10v10, 20 players in a lobby. We're both on one team. The other team has the 10 next best players in the server. So we lose 75% of the time. We're getting VTOLs all day. We're getting White Foss. We're getting 15 kill streaks every time we're alive. We're attempting to play the objective, but it doesn't matter. We don't win because all of our teammates have 0.48 KDs, and they don't help. So believe me, we wanted to win when this game came out, but then we realized, what's the point? Our teammates always suck. We can't win. Because if we're not killing, then we're just playing the objective the whole time and we're dying a bunch, and then either way we can't win. So I would rather have a higher KD and have fun than have a lower KD playing the objective and come close to winning every game. So no. I mean, I wish you were on my team though. If you played on my team and you cared about your win-loss ratio, I would really appreciate that. Somebody playing the objective and attempting to help us win, but it never happens in our lobby, so we gave up months ago.
Yeah, so for Ground War, I don't really care about winning because like a single person's effort cannot dictate how a Ground War match goes. Even in 10s, you can carry, like especially if you start getting streaks, you can turn a game around if it's salvageable, but a lot of times it's not salvageable for the reasons Tanner just pointed out. I would say that you're not the only one who cares more about your win-loss than your KD, but you're definitely in the stark minority. The vast majority of players care more about their KD than their win-loss. And the reason for that is simple. You're a lot more in control of your KD ratio than you are of your win-loss ratio. And that's why KD in general is a far better metric for player skill. So people want to pump up the numbers for what is the best indication of how good that player is, because that way they have the most credible statistic to cite to tell other people approximately how good they are. Because I've played countless games where I have the most kills in the lobby, the fewest deaths in the lobby, by extension, obviously, the highest KD in the lobby, by a factor of 2 or 3, and then I still lose. And in those situations, it's like, okay, what was I supposed to do? It was just never happen. I was never going to win that game. So I'm always, and obviously your KD is going to be affected. If your team is getting shit on, that means the enemy team has a bunch of streaks, which means it's going to be harder for you to have a high KD. But if it makes getting a good KD 2 times harder, it makes winning 10 times harder. So it's a lot more in your control, and it's a lot more indicative of skill, your KD versus your win-loss. And another thing, which is why I wanted score streaks in this game as opposed to kill streaks, is that especially in this game, players care more about their KD because they want to farm streaks. And you don't get rewarded for capping B at all, because that doesn't progress you any more toward your VTOL or your White Foss or your gunship or whatever, because there's no score streaks in this game. There's only kill streaks. So players in this game, in general, players care more about their KD, but especially in this game, they care more about their KD because there's no reward for playing the objective and by extension, taking steps toward winning the game. So, with that said, I always hate losing. I hate it. So if it is within the realm of possibility, I'm going to try and win the game. I always play that way. But sometimes it is so it is so outside of the realm of possibility. Like, even if I channeled Nate Gibson, I still would be completely unable to win because my teammates are fucking idiots. And when that realization dawns on me, which happens often, I say, okay, well, I'm not going to go rush B and try and cap it because number one, it's going to be impossible because my entire team is dead. And number two, even if I get it, I'm just going to get steamrolled and they're going to take it right back because this is a 10v1. Yeah, I don't think you're crazy, but I think you're definitely in the minority for sure. But those are some of the reasons why people care more about KD than win-loss. And it's even worse in this game than it was in Call of Duties of the past. Here's my last point on this. This is what I was going to say. A lot of times the best way to get a win is to farm KD. Because if I have a VTOL in the air, it makes it a fuck of a lot easier to cap B, for example. So a lot of times the best way to win for your team is to strictly play for streaks. And then once you have all your streaks, now you can go cap objectives freely. But that's a gamble because if you die one off VTOL and you've spent all this time trying to get a streak and you spent that time trying to get that streak instead of playing the objective, well then, you know, the gamble's lost and you've wasted a lot of time not holding that objective. So that's another reason people play for KD, because KD correlates with win-loss. If you play 10s Dom and you go 105, I would be shocked if you lost that game. And it doesn't matter what the game type is. It doesn't matter if it's Dom, headquarters, hardpoint. It doesn't matter. If you go 105, you probably won that game. So KD and win-loss also correlate, which is another reason people care more about that.